The following is a special presentation of TNN Motorsports. New Hampshire International Speedway, the pride of the Granite State, a track where today 3 aces are laying their cards on the table, hoping to pull a deuce out of their sleeve by holding off the other chum-fed sharks in hopes of a dual visit to victory lane. First, the NASCAR Modifieds. Then the Busch North Series. It's a doubleheader today. TNN next. TNN Motorsports joins with NASCAR in celebrating their 50th anniversary. And today we have come north to the Granite State of New Hampshire. It's a doubleheader, the ground-pounding NASCAR Modifieds and the Busch North Series in the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts doubleheader. Hi, everybody. I'm Eli Gold. Welcome to New Hampshire, and welcome to the start of a huge NASCAR triple-header day for you here on TNN Motorsports. 2 races this afternoon here in New Hampshire, the Modifieds and the Busch North Series. And tonight, it's the NASCAR Busch Series running down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So we hope you can spend your race day with us right here on TNN. Brett Bodine joins us on the telecast this afternoon. Great to have you along. And you've just come back from running down on the racetrack, a track that was just resealed with an asphalt sealer a week ago. What's the track like?
Well, Eli, right now there's a second lane of new sealer, and the outside lane hasn't been run in yet. Hopefully these Modifieds with their 15-inch wide tires and fast corner speeds can get a second lane worked in. We'll see some great side-by-side racing today.
This, of course, is a big race. Anytime these 2 series run here at New Hampshire, it's kind of like their Daytona, Buddy Baker, and you know how important those big, high-profile races are.
Well, they certainly are, and these guys, I'm telling you, they're so exciting. These cars run 145, 150 miles an hour. While they're so fast, they had to put restrictor plates on the Modifieds. In the North guys, there's a couple of guys in this show today that are running in both events. Mike Stefanik, Ted Christopher, Tom Bowles. These guys are doing double duty today. Keep your eye on them.
We're going to have to keep the eye on them because it is a tough transition going from one style of race car to the other, Glenn Jarrett. It's not an easy assignment for them.
Oh, no, it's not, Eli. You know, there's an incredible story on the pole here today for the modified portion of this doubleheader. Tommy Bowles destroyed his modified car 2 weeks ago here at New Hampshire in a race. Didn't have a car to drive. His car owner, Kurt Chase, went to Pennsylvania, found this car. It was just a chassis and a shell at that time. They worked nonstop for 7 days and nights to get this car ready. Missed all of practice yesterday. We're still bolting pieces on this car. When he went across the scales for qualifying, the first lap Tommy took in it was his qualifying lap. He sat it on the pole, his first career Bud pole in the modified division. Joining me on pit road today, here's Matt Yoakum.
Well, Glenn, no doubt Bowles will have to contend with the series dominator, Mike Stefanik, if he wants to end that 10-year winless streak. In '98, Stefanik has 6 victories. His worst finish, 3rd. He leads the point standings and starts 6th today. But the Merlin on the Magic Mile isn't Steffi. It's the Reggie Ruggiero. 6 times he's visited New Hampshire's victory lane. He finished 2nd to Stefanik 2 weeks ago. And today hunts victory from the 14th position. Eli?
It is a blustery day here in New Hampshire, temperature in the 60s. But, folks, if you've never seen those ground pounders do battle, stick around. The Featherlite Modified Tour of NASCAR is next. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts doubleheader is being brought to you by Texaco. Texaco, a world of energy. Welcome back, everybody, as the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour has rolled onto the Speedway. It'll be the first of 2 pace laps getting set for today's 100-lap event. That translates to 105.8 miles around the New Hampshire International Speedway. There's Tom Bowles, his first pole. The 3rd place man in points, Tim Connolly. The 2nd place man in points, Mike Uinitsko, and veteran Dan Avery. Tim Mangus and Mike Stefanik sharing row number 3, and Brett Bodine, you can appreciate what Stefanik did a year ago, winning not 1, but 2 NASCAR Touring Series.
It's just an awesome season, Eli. He just was really focused throughout the year, really got the job done both divisions, something no one's ever done.
Eli, talking about Stefanik, he's already won 6 times this year on the Featherlite Modified Division. 2 seconds and a third. He was really off on that night.
There's TV Tim DeRoyne. Yeah, he was off there. DeRoyne, a member of our TNN crew. Eddie Flemke Jr., the veteran Tom Baldwin. He's been around forever. The 81 car, very interesting story. We'll talk more about that as the day continues with Bruce Driver there. It's a car owned by Don Hawk, who is the president of Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. We'll talk more about that. Veteran Charlie Pasteryak there in the middle of the field. The 0 is Ed Kennedy. 32, Dave Bergman, son of one Carl Bugsy Stevens. John Moroz and Dunk Rudolph as you see the field for today's event. This racetrack, if you're not familiar with New Hampshire International Speedway, the turns are banked 12 degrees, though you don't really use that banking. It's basically a flat track. The straights are 3 degrees and 1,500 feet long. Tim Connolly will be giving us a ride around the Speedway today, and that is just one of the views you'll have looking back towards Connolly. And here you'll notice, Brett, you've got a windshield in place, something you don't always see on the smaller tracks.
Yeah, exactly. You know, aerodynamics is a big factor here. We're going to see a lot of drafting, bump drafting here at New Hampshire with the modifieds. Makes for exciting racing.
And, of course, Brett Bodine, who joins Buddy and I today, is a 3-time winner on this series and has also been voted one of the 50 greatest drivers in Modified Tour Series history. Congratulations.
Thank you, Eli. It was a real honor.
Ready?
We're set to go racing.
Go, 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 go.
Good double file restart as Tom Bowles leads him with Connolly to the outside in that yellow machine back into turn 1. Riding with Connolly, Bowles to his inside.
Eli, that's the second lap he's had on that race car this week. He qualified on the pole. First lap around the racetrack, they were putting the body on this car the night before they come here and set it on the pole.
Look at Tim Connolly hanging on the outside. That's impressive. Not much rubber yet on the outside lane, and Mike Stefanik's already knocking on the door for the lead.
Right, Mike Ewanitsko got shuffled out just a bit on the start. As we look backwards from Connolly through the plexiglass or clear plastic rear wing, which is in place for this very reason, not for our cameras, but for driver visibility.
It is that, and something else to look for today, they bump draft down the straightaways in the modifieds. Actually, taking the front, they have a metal bumper on the front there, and they push cars down the straightaway to get extended speed down into the corner.
Trouble over in turn 2. Looked like Satch Worley and the 26 car got tangled up together.
That's Timmy DeRoyne right there in the middle of the screen. Brings out the caution. TV Tim DeRoyne, who actually is in his second start this year, ran at Riverside Park Speedway in Agawam, Massachusetts earlier this year. But caution is on the Speedway here at lap number 3.
An interesting point already, Eli. The outside lane guys, they're the ones that are up at the front. So obviously they were able to get a good grip on the racetrack on that new sealer. And
actually, DeRoyne wasn't involved. He manages to save it. Does a great job there. He kind of wiggled, but the 2 guys in front of him, Buddy, were the ones who got in trouble.
Yeah, Tony Ferrani got hit from behind then and triggered that. DeRoyne had nothing to do with it in the 26.
Also involved, Tim Mangus's automobile. So under caution here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Early, just 3 of 100 laps are complete.
Featherlite, the official trailer of NASCAR, IndyCar, World of Outlaws, IRL, and a major sponsor of NHRA. Remember to call Featherlite for all your trailer needs at 800-800-1230. Radio communications are provided by Racing Radios. For all your racing communications needs as well as scanners, call on Racing Radios at 1-800-669-1522. And by LA West Luxury Vans. LA West vans are available at select Ford dealerships nationwide. Call us at 800-786-VANS.
Welcome back, everybody, as we continue here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. The first caution coming out at lap number 3. A couple of cars tangling over in the corner involving Tony Ferranti and others. One of the big stories in the Featherlite Modified Tour this year is a tire war. Remember when the NASCAR Winston Cup teams had to deal with the Goodyear and Hoosier tires years ago? Well, Glenn Jarrett, I guess with both companies now making a belted bias ply tire, it has really raised the stakes a bit in this series.
Oh, absolutely it has, Eli. And some of the participants are using Hoosier. Some of them using Goodyear. Now, I haven't been able to see so far since we've been here a big difference in the speed. Now, with the restrictor plates that these modifieds run, they can easily make the 100 miles on fuel. But these tires are so wide and get so much grip that they have to change tires at least once. NASCAR allows them to change one set of tires, that's 4 tires, under caution during the race. Obviously, they can change all they want under green, but the key thing here is to decide exactly when to change those new Hoosiers or those new Goodyears. That's the critical thing. They all will change them one time during the race.
Eli, they're having a tire war, but they also have a war on every restart. If you'll notice, every car out there, they double file up. These cars are not a lap down. They go double file on all restarts, so that makes it more exciting for the fans. These cars really put on a great race.
If you're curious as to what a modified car is, take a look right there at some of the guidelines. Now, there are some variances on what you see there. For instance, if you have a 370 cubic inch engine, well, the car can weigh 2,690 pounds. If you are in a 364, it can weigh 2,650. A 358, it can weigh 2,532. So they do try and compensate, Brett, based on the power plant.
That's what's so nice about the modified division. You can run different size engines for different type racetracks, trying to maximize your performance out of your car and your combination, whether you may be at the quarter-mile racetrack at Riverhead, Long Island, or here at the mile in New Hampshire.
1-inch restrictor plates. Those tires are some 13 inches wide. And Matt Yoakum, I guess we just cannot overstate the tire story here.
Well, Eli, when you look at this tire battle here in New Hampshire, this is the same tire for both Goodyear and Hoosier that these two tire companies raced here 2 weeks ago. They finished 1-2, Stefanik on Goodyear, Ruggiero on Hoosier. And guess what? Stefanik running second today. He and the leader, Tim Connolly, both tested Goodyear tires up here. So without a doubt, it's not a surprise to see both the 4 and 6 cars running up front.
Connolly, Stefanik, Bowles, Uinitsko, Avery, and Hirschman, your top 6. Green flag. Bowles had an idea to go 3 wide.
There's not room for 3 in going into turn 1.
From Connolly looking rearward towards Bowles.
Boy, that was a good example of how much these cars move around on the straightaway. You could see almost a half a car length of slide there as they were going through the draft as they come up. These cars are not used to running this fast down the straightaway.
Uinitsko was another car right there in the equation as he made the move at the start-finish line.
I see a plan working right here. I think the 21 and the 6 have decided, let's stay in line, see if we can draw away from this field and put some gap between us and the rest of the guys. They're not going to try to battle for the lead right now.
You talk about domination as you watch a battle for 4th right there with Connolly, who's giving us the ride. The 2 is Reggie Ruggiero to his outside. The 05, John Blewett, the 3rd. And again up front. Stefanik holds off Uinitsko. Connolly right behind as well. Talk about domination. Stefanik has led 895 laps already this year, which is impressive when you think they've only run 1,490. He's led 60% of the laps this season.
That's an awesome performance so far this year. You saw the 21 car, Mike Uinitsko, waving to Tommy Bowles. He wants him to stay in line, but Bowles doesn't want any part of it. He wants to try to run in second place.
Bowles wants to get under him, but can't do it as they head down into turn 1. Stefanik right now, his car looks to be right on the bottom of the racetrack and handling quite well. Back behind him, the cars are jostling around quite a bit. I'm sure these guys right now are just hitting out the buck draft. You see the 2 of them work together, running right up the side of Stefanik.
Uinitsko to the inside of Stefanik for the lead. We're at lap number 11. Uinitsko still the modified track record holder here in New Hampshire, and they're all going to hook up and try and get Stefanik from 1st to 4th here in the span of about a quarter mile. So Mike Uinitsko now takes the lead. Bowles, his persistence does pay off for 2nd spot.
Eli, Ted Christopher moved in here in that black 13 there. You can see he's caught Stefanik and doing a great job. He seems to have that car really nailed to the racetrack.
Christopher, one of the fellows we talked about on the opening of the telecast. He'll be running the Busch North Series race
They
later
bump
on.
wheels in. Is that pretty normal?
Well, you know, with running as tight as they are, and the Nerf bars are way out by the wheels, they can rub a little bit, but there you go. There's that bump draft, and again, 21 right back up behind Bowles, trying to get him down in the corner here.
So Tom Bowles, who was the pole sitter and led the very first lap of the event, now back atop the leaderboard for the moment. Here comes Ewanitsko in that white 21. They'll give Bowles the lead for one lap.
And Ted Christopher now on the inside of Stefanik trying to make a move as they come off turn 2. He makes the move and gets just about a half a car left back, but Mike Stefanik don't play dead. He come right back on the outside. They're still side by side.
That's Stefanik in that white machine. Christopher in the black. You've got Reggie Ruggiero in that red 2. And the Reg is always tough here.
Every one of these drivers will tell you that Reggie's the toughest one out there to beat because he understands the draft so well. He's run every modified races he can even remember in the past 15 years. So he knows how to really work this track and work the draft.
If you're worrying about Tim Connolly, as you see a scramble for the lead, he's carrying our onboard camera. He's dropped back to 12th. The rear of his car is trying to come around on him. We're riding with him now. And just a little bit loose.
Clear all around.
He's got himself back in line here without any traffic underneath, and maybe he can get it squared away and try to get the car back in shape and through.
Great battle for the lead. Bowles has it as Ewanitsko goes wide, and Stefanik makes the move to the inside for second.
Stefanik is so strong today. You can see him when he gets ready to move. But here comes Reggie Ruggiero in the 2 there on the inside, trying to put Christopher away.
And that blue car right there, too, on the right of your screen. Tony Hirschman coming into the view now. That's Lenny Bowler's newest car. It was built in 1994.
Lenny believes in getting plenty of miles out of his equipment.
He always gets those miles up front, too.
He sure does. Very tough competitor. Always has a very competitive race car.
Eli, this is the kind of racing that makes these people want to come back and see the modified run. They change the lead nearly every lap so far, and right now Ewanitsko back in the lead.
We are live here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Just as Buddy says, every time by, they try and swap the lead. Bowles had it. Ewanitsko takes it. And Stefanik had an idea, but he settles in for third for the moment.
He had a wreck if he didn't back off just then. I tell you what, he was up there to the point that Bowles couldn't tell he was there, and they locked wheels just for a second there.
Look at Reggie on the outside. He drove it in there pretty deep on the outside of Stefanik. I don't know, can't quite get a hold of the racetrack.
All of these laps in excess of 127 miles an hour. As this battle for the lead is ongoing. Again, Bowles in that yellow and white machine. Ewanitsko in that white with red. Stefanik in third. The Reg, Reggie Ruggiero in that red number 2. He's next in line, and give it back to Bowles up front.
Ewanitsko looks like he's going to get trapped on the outside, but he's going to make a pass on the outside. No, he's not.
You can almost feel that Mike Stefanik there on the inside is losing ground to these 2 cars on the outside that got together and bump drafted by him there. He actually lost that spot from the inside of the racetrack. That's the first time today the inside car has lost position like that.
Just like Buddy said earlier about Reggie, he's really worked the traffic well. He's been in the right spot every time. Here he is running second already.
Well, for the moment, things seem to settle down, at least for a second or so. Ewanitsko leads. It's an ongoing battle for second. We're back with more from New Hampshire on TNN in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. You have missed 8 lead changes. And you've only been gone for about a lap and a half. We had Ewanitsko lead lap 21, Reggie Ruggiero lap 22, 23. It's Ewanitsko back atop the leaderboard again as we welcome you to New Hampshire International Speedway. Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Brett Bodine, Glenn Jarrett, and Matt Yoakum. Don't forget the NASCAR Busch North Series running a 100-lapper later today, and the Winston Cup teams here at New Hampshire tomorrow with Ricky Craven on the Bud pole.
Right now, Eli's about the time the tire wear is going to start taking effect. Whoever's got the best chassis is going to start showing up. They're going to be able to maintain their position. They've been living off the tire up till now. Now it's the chassis' turn to take over and see who's got the best car. As we see, they're starting to gap out a little bit here towards the front.
They've gone around some of the slower machines. Wade Cole, you saw just go a lap down.
Mike Stefanik has been to the lead about 4 or 5 times already in the 6th there, leading this bunch. But I think Reggie Ruggiero, if they ever get up there and really start bump drafting, these 3 cars should be able to pull away from everyone.
That's what Uinitsko does here with Stefanik. I was about to write down another lead change, but that might have been a little early.
Well, as long as they run side by side, everybody's going to catch back up, and this is going to make for exciting racing right to the end. You see them bump drafting there on the outside, trying to get by Uinitsko going in the corner.
And don't forget Reggie Ruggiero there in that red number 2. 15 top 5 finishes here, including a 2nd place finish just a couple of weeks ago on June the 28th. He's as good, if not better, than anybody in this series that's run here.
No question about Reggie's ability here at New Hampshire. He's always found himself at the front of the field. There's a slingshot move. No bump drafting involved there. He just got a good run off the corner and was able to draft off his Stefanik going into the turn. But Mike's car is really handling well on the outside lane, able to hold Reggie off.
That is for the lead with Uinitsko, the other car in the picture. He's running 3rd. Bowles is 4th, Ted Christopher 5th. There you see NASCAR timing and scoring brought to you by MCI across the top of the screen. You'll know exactly where your favorites are running today.
Eli, these cars right now are running about the same speed as the Winston Cup cars run here. But let me tell you, you take that restrictor plate off there, and these cars would be running about 10 miles an hour faster than Winston Cup cars can run around here because of their lightness and more tire on the racetrack itself.
We talked, of course, about Brett Bodine having won 3 times in this series. Buddy Baker, you're not a stranger to the modifieds. I remember in one instance in particular, you used to run a modified for Junie Dunleavy, among others.
Yeah, I run Martinsville for him, and I thought I was leading the race, and I was sitting out there, but I thought everybody was watching me, and all of a sudden they put on the board, they put a big go-ahead on the board, and I looked in, and I said, why do they want me to speed up? Why do they want me to catch this 11? Do they want me to put a lap on him? I found out I was 18 seconds behind Ray Hendricks. He was absolutely flying. I was running 2nd the whole time and didn't even know it.
Here's a great battle also. Ted Christopher in the black car, Tony Hirschman in the blue 3, Dan Avery right there in the number 10, and the 05 John Blewett the 3rd right behind, who may even be a better story than all the lot because Blewett is a Flemington, New Jersey kind of guy. Runs on the squared racetrack there. Short tracks is his forte, and here he is on the big track.
Yeah, he doesn't venture off an awful lot, Eli, and try some new racetracks, and he's doing a great job here at New Hampshire, kind of sizing himself up against all the regular modified drivers.
I didn't mean to butt in there, but there was contact there between Ruggiero and Stefanik. They locked wheels just for a second. But you see, Stefanik didn't let that bother him at all. That's just another day in the office for him.
And here's where he's really strong, as we've been showing you. The outside, and just overpowers everybody on the straightaway, the backstretch.
There's a bump draft from Uinitsko on the back of Stefanik's car. Pushed them both right on by Reggie going down the back straightaway.
Yeah, but it's not over.
By a long shot.
These guys, they just don't like running 2nd, I guess, because they got a pretty good lead on the cars behind them now, but here comes Uinitsko on the inside.
They have 2 8/10 seconds on 4th place Tom Bowles. These guys are just having a great time. Oh, Carl Pasteryak, a tough break right there for the veteran. Pasteryak has not won in 246 starts in this series, dating back to the Tour's inception in 1985.
Now, that wasn't bump draft. That was letting him know, hey, I'm pretty quick in the middle part of the corner here. The leaders make contact just then.
And there is Carl, who just now takes one of the exit roads towards the infield and tries to get out of harm's way. Watch again what happened to the veteran Carl Pasteryak. I was kind of hoping he might have a day in victory lane today.
He was leaving the pit area here, Eli, and there was a car spun right over there at the tunnel, and he locks the brakes up trying to miss him. You'll see the car come into view. Right there, you can just see the back of the car on the left side of the screen. Carl was coming around leaving the pit area, and there was a car sitting there.
Let's go to Matt Yoakum with an update.
Well, Eli, while Carl was on pit road, his alternator belt broke, and then it leaned up against the header punch and started smoking. They thought they might have had an oil leak, so they brought him down pit road. They pulled out the belt, put a new one on, and he was back off pit road.
Tough break there for Carl Pasteryak, who'll find himself now 4 laps down through the remainder of the field. Well, for a moment, Reggie's got a comfortable lead. Ruggiero ahead of Uinetsko. Stefanik is running third, back in a moment. Back with you here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Those three drivers, Mike Stefanik, Mike Uinetsko, and Reggie Ruggiero, have now pulled away by 3.8 seconds on the fourth-place driver, Tom Bowles, John Blewett in fifth, Dan Avery in sixth, Tony Hirschman in seventh, and on down the line, you've got eighth place going to Jack Bateman right now, the old Claremont Speedway track champion. There's TV Tim DeRoyne, ran 3 tour races a year ago. Had a little trouble last lap by. Watch this.
Tim, stay on the racetrack. He's down on the flat part of the track and makes contact there with the 57 car. That's Robert. I'll let you do that one, buddy.
that would be Bobby Gagetskas.
I thought you. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Of the famous racing Gagetskas family. But yeah, there's old Timmy DeRoyne.
Yeah, Tim got down there, he got a little anxious getting in the corner, got down on the apron, the car wouldn't get a hold of the racetrack, slid up into the 57 zone.
He finished 20th here last May, finished 26th here in 2 other races at New Hampshire a year ago, and is a member of our TNN TV crew, oftentimes runs camera, works in various different roles for us during our telecasts. Right now, DeRoyne running in 29th. As we are at lap 42, only 8 laps shy of halfway. Up front, Mike Stefanik, Reggie Ruggiero. Rest of the crew now is starting to spread just a little bit.
That chassis is starting to take over on Stefanik's car. His car obviously is just a little easier on the tires, able to stretch it out now, and something he's done so much the last couple of years.
Well, one thing, Stefanik got through traffic a little bit better. He was in the lead, and they run into lap traffic, and he really caught him at a time when they were kind of vulnerable, and he passed him down the straightaway, and these other cars had to pass in the corner.
The Featherlite Modified Tour champion in 1989, 1991, and again 1997. Mike Stefanik leads, while others wait for their man to make a big move. Welcome back, everybody. Under caution as Mike Stefanik leads here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Tony Ferranti Jr., the Wall Stadium graduate who moved up to the Tour back in 1990, spun in turn number 2. Everybody has made a pit stop among the leaders except Stefanik, Glenn.
Yeah, and Eli, when he came by at the entrance to pit road, Mike thought pit road was still closed, so therefore he didn't turn and come down here. He went on by, the rest of the guys came on in, so big foul up there. Mike just simply thought the thing was closed. Now he's going to come in this time, but that's going to put him at the tail end of the pack behind all these cars that have already pitted. Mike Uinetsko was in. He changed 4 tires and is gone, so I didn't see if anybody beat him out. I don't think that anybody did, so he may be the leader when this thing goes green again. But tough break for Mike Stefanik.
You're exactly right, Glenn. That is a tremendous disadvantage to have to start behind all the good cars there. Even though Stefanik has a great car, he'll need it now.
Wow, that's a terrible thing because he had an awesome race car. We're going to get to see some exciting racing as he comes up through the pack.
We'll have 53 laps of Stefanik watching ahead of us here. They go all the way around on the Goodyears. The tire battle was shaping up to be an interesting one also, Brett, before that caution.
Yeah, it was, Eli. There was 2 Goodyear shod cars at the front and also one of the Hoosier cars. So I didn't see any big advantage in either camp, but you know, Mike Stefanik was just starting to pull away from the field, and he's on Goodyears.
And now he'll fall in line as the field continues under caution. Again, Tony Ferranti Jr. spun in turn number 2. Jr. inherited his dad's ride.
Another guy on pit road that had a problem was Rick Fuller. He overshot his pit by about 4 stalls, realized his mistake, had trouble getting the car in reverse. He backed up into his pit area. I'm not sure if he's not going to get a penalty.
We'll find out. Dunk Rudolph is in for service. Also on the racetrack, here came Fuller with that stop and go, Matt Yoakum.
Eli, Tom Bowles came down pit road. His car was a little bit on the loose side. They were going to tighten him up with stagger. The bigger problem for Bowles, the reason for the lengthy stay on pit road, The air impact gun jammed on the right rear. They had to bring another one across the wall. It took him a long, long time on pit road, which will prove very costly in positions on the racetrack.
You saw that tire changer signaling for help.
Brett, just as you were talking about Rick Fuller having a problem, they have him at the end of pit road down there now, and he'll be at the tail end of the longest line.
Yeah, he definitely overshot his pit and then backed up. That's a no-no on NASCAR's pit road. TV
Tim DeRoyne just getting pit service there at a decided disadvantage when one of your lead pit crewmen has the name of Alice. But Timmy's out there racing nevertheless. We're back in a moment. Oh, welcome back. Good to see you here at New Hampshire International Speedway as the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour has just gone past halfway in their event here today. Very interesting situation developing on the racetrack right now. We talked about how Mike Stefanik and a few of the other cars on the lead lap did not pit when all the other leaders pitted at lap number 45. Turns out now that there was some confusion with the flag that was signaling whether pit road was open or not. And NASCAR has acknowledged the fact that there was a problem down there. So right now, the drivers who chose not to pit on that very first lap, lap 45, first lap of caution, are being repositioned. And that means that man, Mike Stefanik, will be up in second spot now as opposed to 17th, where he came back out of the racetrack. There's Tommy Cravino's bunch. Mario Fiore owns the car, but crew members trying to discuss exactly where Cravino should be. He's being shown in 7th right now.
Well, I'm sure they're questioning that judgment call on NASCAR's part to really get the lineup back straightened up the way it should be. And in defense of Mike and the guys that didn't pit, if there was a problem with the flagman at the end of pit road, you're not going to come down pit road if the red flag's out down there. And consequently, some of the guys came down, and we're going to get an unfair advantage, so NASCAR's going to straighten it out.
So that's what's being worked on right now. There you see the numbers for this 1998 season. 10 top threes. He's been in the top 3 in every single race this year.
What an awesome year. I mean, they have really got their act together. The whole crew has just done a great job.
Barry Cannell is crew chief, looking on.
I used to race against Barry back when I was in the modifieds. He was the crew chief for Bob Polverari.
I remember old Bob.
And they used to do a great job. Bob was awfully tough at Riverside Park.
Number 711, wasn't it?
711.
Yeah. There's some great history in this series when you take a look at the fellows who have graduated from the Modified Tour to move on to all sorts of racing, including NASCAR Winston Cup.
You know, people talk about the ASA division and how they've put so many drivers into Winston Cup. NASCAR Modified drivers have really done themselves proud in the NASCAR Winston Cup division.
The field was going to get the one-to-go signal last time by, but it was waved off because there are still some questions about positioning. Now Billy Ryder gives them the one-to-go signal atop the flag stand as we get set to go back to racing. There's some impressive names right there. Of course, Steve Park set to return to NASCAR Winston Cup racing at the Brickyard. Mike McLaughlin, who is driving the Gould's Pumps entry down in the NASCAR Busch Series. Jeff Fuller now on the 89 NASCAR Busch Series car. But Mike Stefanik has won 1/2 of the tour races he has competed in since the beginning of 1997. He's batting 50% in the win column since the start of last year.
Let me tell you, if you're just going to the next room and you beat somebody that many times, it means something. 51 times in a modified, that is pure talent.
And right now, his lead atop the point standings this year is already an impressive 263 over Mike Ioannidze. Tim Connolly is 3rd in points. He's 348 back.
Cars off of the track. Go, 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 go.
And indeed, we are back to work with the 93 Tim Mangus showing the way.
This 31 Tony Ferrante, he's the one that's spun up there. He's trying to hope for a caution and get back on the lead lap, but it's not going to happen.
Saw Mangus go to the inside trying to hold off Stefanik, but that was short-lived.
Well, he's still fighting back, but Stefanik has such a great race car. Right there, he just squirts away from him off the corner.
This is only the second race all year Mangus has run. He ran here a couple of weeks ago. After running most every race a season back, he's been on a limited schedule this year.
Now, Tim found himself up at the front of the pack because, as we saw earlier in the race, he had a flat tire, hit the wall with the right side of the car. He did not elect to pit on this last caution and put right side tires on, so consequently moved him to the front of the field, trying to get that track position.
All right, Tim pitted back on lap number 4. Look at the spread already for Mike Stefanik.
The blue car there, that's Charlie Pastriak on the inside there, making his move towards the front also, number 5.
Now, he's come from a long ways back. He started 31st position. Obviously, Charlie's got himself into the race car there today and did a great job in the pit.
And he was 9th here 2 weeks ago when the Modified Tour ran here the last time. So the fact that he's up near the front really shouldn't be a surprise. Getting pushed by John Blewett in the 05.
These guys better start bump drafting and doing what they can, because Mike Stefanik is not even in this picture right now. He's building up a great lead. As I say that, they start that bump drafting down the front straightaway.
Charlie Pastriak trying to make a move there. Matt Yoakum couldn't quite pull it off that time. Or at least Glenn Jarrett down in the Pastriak pit.
Yeah, Eli, what happened there? You got Pastriak running second along, or Dan Avery, and then Charlie was right behind him in the 5 car. They were the other 2 cars, the other 2 good cars that stayed out on the racetrack with Mike Stefanik. So when NASCAR moved Mike up, they moved those cars up ahead of the rest of the guys too. So not only did they have good pit work, Brett Bernheim, but they got a little boost from NASCAR there, I believe.
Well, of course, the boost there, again, if you want to use that term, was because the flag was not displayed correctly to open the pit lane back on lap number 45, and some chose to pit. Others were unsure and stayed where they were. Here comes Jan Lady now moving up in the 25 machine.
Eli, I've done this race many, many times up here, and I've never been to a race that Jan Lady didn't run up front in the 25. That Dayglow, that's kind of like your old car, your Modified.
Yeah.
I used to remember that thing stood out at night like you wouldn't believe.
It favors the colors we used to run on the old Cherry Cup number 12.
Problems turn 1. All sorts of action there as Tim Connolly is right there with our camera car in the number 4 machine. One of a couple of cars caught up in the accident up there in turn number 1. The other one involved Jamie the Jet Tomeno from Neptune, New Jersey. So Tomeno and Connolly tangling in turn number 1, and caution, as you see, lap 61 for the 3rd time. Let's see what happens, guys, and see if we can take it out here.
Here's Tomeno ahead of Carino. Oh,
Carino got into him.
Got in the back of Jamie Tomeno going down in turn 1. Tim Connolly had nowhere to go.
Cravino is in that Mario Fiore-owned Gulf machine. He ticked the back of Tomeno. Watch right here.
Just a late try to get on the inside. Realized he couldn't make it. Got back in line and made contact with
Just caught him on the right rear corner there, and that set him away. But watch this. Connolly trying to avoid him on the high side. Goes up in the air, nearly over.
Takes a heck of a lick into the wall. It's good to see Tim moving around in there. That's good news. And we heard his crew talk to him, ask him if he's okay.
And Tim Connolly there hanging up some of that safety gear and climbing from his Modified. A lot of fans on hand enjoying the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour.
Mack trucks are furnished by Clement Chevy Mack Sales. For all your truck and tractor needs, call Clement at 1-800-369-MACK. Visit, experience, shop Simpson World, a racer and race fan superstore, now open in Mooresville, North Carolina, Indianapolis, Indiana, Torrance, California, and opening soon in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Race fans, you make the call. New LCI long-distance customers receive 30 minutes of free calling and a calling card featuring participating drivers. Don't delay. Call now, 1-888-TEAM-LCI.
Track cleanup underway now as the number 4 of Tim Connolly gets picked up literally and carried back towards the garage area. Took a pretty wild ride up there in the corner after spinning to avoid Jamie Tomeno. Unfortunately, Connolly's day is done. Let's see what he saw as he carried our camera towards the corner.
Right here, he knows he's in big trouble.
Blew the left front tire just before he hit the outside wall there. That knocked the steering out, and that sent him straight into the wall.
Rode that wall, too, a pretty good distance.
When Cabrino got in the back of Jamie, he made the right move to try to get around him, but the problem was Jamie came up the racetrack so fast, nowhere to go. Close the door.
Cabrino had finished third here last July in the telecast you saw here on TNN Motorsports with that great finish. He and Connolly and Fuller all battling for the lead a year ago. Right now, Mike Iwanitsko, he's middle of the field, running in 10th spot.
Yeah, him and Reggie evidently had problems on pit road on that pit stop, and they found themselves marred back in the middle of the pack.
Look at the size of this guy that drives this race car. You look at this little modified, 6'3", 205 pounds.
Good-sized fella.
See, buddy, you could drive one of these.
I did drive one of them, yeah.
Quite a while. Glenn, what was the deal on Iwanitsko and Reggie's stops?
Okay, let me straighten this out. I got some help down here. What happened was when Mike Stefanik and a couple of those cars, Charlie Pasteryak and Dan Avery, stayed out on the racetrack, they were indeed correct. Pit road was closed. But because so many guys came down, all those cars that we just, the guys that pitted first, when they came down pit road, it was actually closed. So the guys that waited and pitted with the 6 car Stefanik, they got to go back out ahead. That's why those guys lost so much track position, because they actually pitted a lap early. Pit road was, in fact, closed when they pitted.
So that's the explanation from down on pit road as Billy Ryder gives the field the 1-to-go signal. They'll be going racing next time by. One of the more colorful flag men around the NASCAR world, Billy Ryder. 64 laps complete. We're down to just 36 remaining, but don't forget, folks, the NASCAR Busch North Series will be running in just a short while, so do not leave us. Don't forget tonight, the Myrtle Beach 250 at 9 o'clock Eastern Time right here on TNN Motorsports. The NASCAR Busch Series regulars are all on hand, but it's not going to be a picnic, never is, in the heat of Myrtle Beach on a Saturday night. See it at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's coming up tonight right here on TNN Motorsports. And, of course, coming up tomorrow here on TNN, the NASCAR Winston Cup teams will be racing right here at New Hampshire International Speedway, the Jiffy Lube 300. Our coverage starts 12:30 Eastern Time with our pre-race show. The green flag shortly after 1 o'clock with Ricky Craven on the Bud pole. And Brett Bodine, how about yourself? You qualified first day, and that was certainly solid to see.
Yeah, I was really happy to make the top 25, and really glad to see Ricky Craven come back in style. We've missed him on the circuit.
Sure have, as the green flag flies here in New Hampshire, and Mike Stefanik continues to pace the field. Charlie Pasteryak in that blue number 5. He's running in second.
You know, track position is always talked about. Well, these guys up front have got it now, and we're getting down to the closing time of the race. You know, Mike Iwanitsko and Reggie Ruggiero have a tough road to hoe trying to get back into this hunt for this win.
You know, we have an unusual situation on Speedway. We have sun in the first and second corner and a cloud cover in turns 3 and 4. Does that mess the car up a lot?
Well, it certainly does. It changes the track conditions every lap, as we've seen here in the past. And it seems like New Hampshire is one of the more sensitive racetracks to run on the cloud cover and sunshine.
Good scramble now. Avery in the 10, Jan Lady in the 25, Pasteryak in that number 5. All behind Stefanik by 0.3 of a second.
Jan Lady there in the 25 making great progress on the outside. That outside groove is coming in. You see him trying to take over second there. Couldn't quite pull it off, but I don't think we've heard the last of him.
And just think, he was injured not too long ago, buddy.
Yeah, it wasn't even a race-related accident. He was over in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and the car fell off the jack stands and broke his left foot. And that next day, he went out and ran in the top 10.
Well, there you see it. Iwanitsko and Ruggiero have worked their way back up through here using the outside lane.
Right, the 21 and the 2.
And they've done a heck of a job to get themselves back in contention for this win.
Caution. Turn number 2. We've got problems off the corner as the 77 Tom Bowles, our pole sitter, gets collected off the corner. A couple of other machines have spun there as well. The number 57 is involved. That's Rafi Kagetskis. about whom we talked earlier. He too is able to continue away. But caution on the Speedway at lap number 69. So we'll take another look when we come back. But first, we break away to take care of some business. TNN Motorsports live at New Hampshire International Speedway. And Jan Lady is the newest of our leaders. Heavy clouds now moving in atop the New Hampshire International Speedway. The weatherman says there might well be some rain in the offing. We're just about 29 laps from wrapping this one up. Let's see what happened with Gagetskis and Bowles over there in turn 2 before.
Coming off of turn 2, looked like the 32 car broke.
Yeah, Tim DeRoyan right there in the middle got through.
In the 57. Oh, I see. The 77 was one that looked like he spun around and everybody checked up. Just caused a chain reaction.
Happened very quickly over there in the corner, but we are set to go back to green.
Eli, one of the things with these cars, they run a lot of rear brake bias. And when there's an accident or a problem in front of them, they jump on that brake pedal a little too hard, tends to lock the rear wheels up. I think that's what we saw in the 57 car. He got on the brake pedal hard, lost the back end of the car.
Very quick caution period. We are back on it now. Lap number 72 complete. 73 begins with the green.
Jan Lady fighting on the outside to get by Stefanik. If he passes him on the outside there, that is a power move by all means.
But now let's see whether Stefanik can try and pass him back to the outside. Jan Lady is the race leader right now.
The one thing you do on restart with the wide tires that they run, you make sure they're clean. And I'm sure Stefanik knows he has a great car as he proves it right there, putting it right up under the back of Lady as they come off the corner there. But what you have right there is a real problem with Lady right now trying to block him out there. Stefanik can't make the move, and we have a car with a flat tire.
Problems with Billy Wood's machine, the number 51. You see the left front is off the rim. Glenn Jarrett Stefanik is now challenging again for the lead against Lady, sometimes under the cloud cover, sometimes in the sunshine. What's best for Stefanik's car?
Oh, absolute sunshine. He's got a little weather-related problem right now, Eli. This cloud cover's killing his car. Makes it real tight coming off the corners. He just can't accelerate the way he could before. He's doing a great job right now, but when they've got him pinned down on the bottom of the racetrack like that, he just simply can't get into the throttle.
Mike Uinitska in the 21 there on the outside. Stefanik fighting back on the inside. This is as good a race as you'll see anywhere. Side by side, down the back straightaways. They try to get the lead.
Uinitska, who won here in April of '95, trying to power to the outside.
Dan Avery in the 10 there fights on the outside also to get up towards the leaders. They know there's bad weather just off the racetrack here. And right now, getting out front means a lot. You don't want to get caught back in lap traffic or anything like that.
Slide it off the corner.
Uinitska got in the back end of Lady there, right in the middle of 1 and 2.
And now Lady in the 25 trying to power back to the inside, and Uinitska, the standout from Riverhead Raceway on the eastern end of Long Island, will show the way back towards the stripe.
Just what Glenn Jarrett said. They had Mike Stefanik pinned on the inside lane. He couldn't do anything with his race car. Turbo on the front straightaway.
As we got Trevino there involved, among others, here comes DeRoyan spinning his automobile as well. And caution is on the Speedway. So caution with 5 machines littering the main straight. There's TV Tim DeRoyan, who is one of those to spin in the middle of that aftermath. The 07 machine still sitting and waiting. That's Bert Marvin's car. The 13, Ted Christopher, who had himself a 15th place run going. And let's see what happened here. There's Cravino breaking loose, the 44.
Ted Christopher coming right through there, going up in the air in the 13 there. Look at the damage to the front of his car.
Just a billiard shot right there.
Yeah, the 44 got just a little wide. Might have got up into the marbles and lost the back end. And ricocheted off the outside wall, and Ted Christopher just had nowhere to go.
Marvin in the 07 will spin.
Teddy's really very fortunate that wasn't a worse accident. He easily could have got on his lid.
There comes DeRoyan into Marvin. Now from our speed shot camera. Boy, he launched him.
He did launch him. He's very, very lucky there with the flat tire that he had. It's a wonder it didn't dig in and start turning over down the front stretch.
And
you see DeRoyne did not spin of his own doing.
No, the 00 car got in the back of him.
He was hit by the 00 of Tim Airey. That's the white machine up against the wall. And there's our TV buddy, Tim DeRoyne. Meanwhile, Bert Marvin's climbed from his car. Matt, what you got?
Well, Eli, he can still crack a smile. Bert, what happened?
Well, I saw the 44 climb up the racetrack a little bit, and I knew he was going to clip the fence. So I backed out of the throttle a little bit, went to the bottom, and Teddy just went over the top of somebody. Got turned around, somebody got into the back of me. I mean, we had a decent run. We were down a little bit on horsepower today. Just picking up the trap, trying to pick off some spots to go to the front. We short pitted, tried to make up track time that way, but just didn't work today. What are you going to do?
Well, tough break for Bert Marvin. Remember, these guys will be back in 3 weeks here at New Hampshire when we come back with the Truck Series.
All right, another busy weekend. There's Ted Christopher having climbed from his machine, but not going anywhere because he's also running later in the NASCAR Busch North Series race. Back on TNN in a moment. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts doubleheader is being brought to you by Degree, the body heat activated antiperspirant. Cleanup continuing here on the main straightaway. Tommy Cravino, Ted Christopher, Bert Marvin, Tim DeRoyne, Tim Airey, all involved. There was Airey's car that spun TV Tim DeRoyne's machine, and there go its remains to the garage area. Let's check in with Matt Yoakum.
TV Tim DeRoyne getting some FaceTime, not the FaceTime you wanted though. What happened, Tim?
Nah, Matt, it was a lot of fun today, you know. TV Motorsports, TNN, Rick's auto body car was running good. Coming up on a wreck here, we pitted, everything was good. We were coming back up through, cars worked good on the outside, and we were coming through, and a wreck in the car behind me, just the guy didn't see it happening. Everybody else checked up. He decided he wanted to get through there quicker than everybody else, and he put a big bend in the bumper and pushed me right in the middle of it. So early day for me, almost there at the end. So tough day to end a nice weekend.
Well, tough day to end. He's going to work tomorrow, but Timmy, I know the car is going to be all right. He told me that the front snout's bent. He'll have to replace that, but he'll be back.
So Tim DeRoyne's day is done. He's a little concerned as to Tim Airey right there in the 00 who had involved in an accident, put him into the inside wall.
Thank you very much.
Timmy's got the moves. He'll be back to race another day, and we'll be back to view another lap right after this. Welcome back, everybody. TNN Motorsports is live today at New Hampshire International Speedway. Friday night on TNN Motor Madness. Don't miss the greatest show on dirt as the Pennzoil World of Outlaws do battle in the Eldora Clash. See it Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, here on TNN Motorsports. And don't forget, for a daily helping of racing, romance, and Roscoe P. Coltrane, don't miss the Dukes of Hazzard. See it weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern right here on America's Country Home, TNN. We do that very well. We travel with our own sound effects unit.
Yeah, man.
Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Brett Bodine, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum. We'll be tuned into TNN tonight at 9 for the NASCAR Busch Series race. Hope you can check it out as well. They, as well as Dale Earnhardt Jr., ran last week in Milwaukee, and Myrtle Beach is kind of like his home racetrack, buddy.
It is, and yeah. I tell you the honest truth, Tony Uri and his son, they're doing such a great job, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., if you hadn't seen him, tune in tonight, because I promise you one thing, he's hammered down.
I think it's remarkable, Brett, what it really is, he shows up at these tracks he's never seen before, and he wins.
That's really tough. I know what it was like for me my first year in the Busch Series, and you were very intimidated when you went there at first, but he's really taken a liking to Busch racing on those super speedways.
That's 9 o'clock Eastern time tonight, the NASCAR Busch Series from Myrtle Beach here on TNN Motorsports. All right, down to settle it here, 16 laps to go. Uinitsko, Stefanik, Lady, Avery, Ruggiero, Charlie Pasteryak, your top 6.
Well, right now we're going to see what everybody's got. It's showtime, and we're going to see who's got what, and if they can get it to the front and keep it there.
You can see right there was a little game plan there, but here they come.
Watch
2 by
Reggie,
2
too.
just back there. Reggie Ruggiero, and the number 2 is doing a great job.
Looks like the outside groove has come in nicely, too.
It sure has, and these guys are really taking advantage of it.
15 laps to go.
Eli, right now you have to bump draft and hope you can get away just a little bit. You see them down the back straightaway. They're actually making contact there to pick up a little extra RPM. Jan Lady in the 25 there in third place moving in. Reggie Ruggiero in the 2. These guys are going at it right at the moment.
It's Stefanik who is second right there on the number 6. If he wanted any sunshine, no chance. He's going to have to do it in the cloud cover if he can. And I believe he might be able to out of the corner, but no.
Look at Reggie on the outside in the 2 car there, going all the way into second place.
Stefanik's car is just too tight on the inside, and he could not complete that pass on the 21. Let Reggie get around the outside. Now Reggie's got a great run going down the 3. Oh, went in way too deep. Pushed Ionesco to the second lane.
But he holds on for the lead. Reggie Ruggiero takes the lead here in New Hampshire. Ionesco second. You've got Lady third. Everybody tightening up. Avery also there, trying to not allow Stefanik to get back in line.
Stefanik's in trouble right now. He has a car that's way too tight. That means it will not turn in the center part of the corner. You see him lining up on the outside right now. He's easy picking.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of that hill handling race car right now and pinning him on the bottom. Reggie is just working that outside lane perfectly. He's even inviting guys to run on the inside. He's leaving that inside open.
Well, we're going to find out right now. Ionesco there on the inside in the 21 car, fighting back on the inside. He's got him pinned down. Reggie has that car up to speed off the corner. Looks like he's pulling back into the lead.
Ionesco, a former winner here at New Hampshire International Speedway.
It's not good to show you're strong. You see everybody lining up on the inside now, and they have Reggie Ruggiero caught on the outside. They're bump drafting right on by him.
No one would draft with Reggie down the back straightaway. They left him alone out there.
Now Jan Lady in the 25, that red and white car to the inside.
Boy, he run Ionesco way to the outside lane. Almost opened it up for Stefanik to jump in there 3 wide.
See 11 laps remaining. Ionesco won here in April of '95. Lady right there, Stefanik in the 6. And Lady's crew cheering him on. Everybody watching now, and Stefanik will help bump Ionesco into the front.
Reggie has Dan Avery there in the 10, pushing him around right now. Jan Lady 10 to the bottom in the 25. If they get together, they ought to be able to push right on by.
Meanwhile, the cloud cover getting heavier and heavier here at New Hampshire International. Really some significant weather moving in over turn 4, as you can see in the high shots there. Hopefully this race will run to conclusion. There's 9 laps to go.
The same thing happened to Mike Stefanik again. Tried to make a move on the inside. Oh, wow, he shot it at him.
Brett, you see the contact there. These guys are swapping paint out there, and they're running 150 miles an hour down the straightaway.
All bunched tightly together. The top 8 are within 0.7 of a second. 8th place being Jack Bateman.
Whatever Stefanik's problem was, he seems to have worked it out. You see him there taking second place right now. Ionesco is in second, but he's trying to pass him on the bottom side there. A little contact on the left rear of Ionesco's car as they go through there. Now off the corner, you can see there. He said, don't do that anymore. Reggie Ruggiero is giving him the hand signal. Don't bump me coming out of the corner.
This is what makes the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour as well attended and such a great series from wherever they run throughout the Northeast and the occasional venture towards the Southlands.
Eli, Jan Lady in the 25 trying to take the lead as they come off turn 2.
Can't get off the corner like Ionesco can.
No, and there's Stefanik. He took advantage of that miscue and jumped right up on that outside lane to take second place.
It looks like Stefanik's car is set up for long runs, and the hotter the tires get, the better he runs. Right now, he is definitely a contender. Ionesco, all he sees in the back is that 6.
Already 24 lead changes. Look at 5th place on back. No slouch there. Charlie Pasteryak in the 5. Mangus in that silver number 93. Chris Kopech in the 16, all involved there.
Mangus got wide up into the marbles, and he's going to lose a lot of positions, picking up all that debris on his tires.
The 47 is Bateman. Up front, though, still hot with 5 laps to go.
Stefanik bump drafting down the front straightaway. You can see they're making contact there. That's good for about 200 RPMs, they tell me. When two cars get together like that, and the second car actually bumps into the lead, it picks the RPMs up.
Just as we saw early part of the race, Stefanik's car is excellent on long runs. He's starting to get his car working the way he wants.
They've got some traffic to start dealing with also here as the leaders come towards the start-finish line. Just about 300 feet ahead as we see the move by Stefanik.
Big time contact there. Bumping tires at 150 miles an hour. Stefanik takes the lead coming off turn 2.
But will he hold it? Who's going to pair up with who?
And Lady's wondering where to go.
Dan Lady said, let me on the inside. Y'all going to bump around like that.
Them running side by side has let Reggie Ruggiero catch back up to this front group. And they're running in 5th is Ed Kennedy. He's doing a great job.
That was a little more than a bump.
Caution for turn 4. Problem up in turn number 4. As you see the 81 pulling away now. That's Bruce Driver, who had moved up to 12th spot. There's also another car up against the wall in turn number 4. So a 2-car incident there. That brings out the caution here at lap number 97. There's Dave Bergman, the other driver involved in that altercation. Also the 18 machine, there's Kerry Malone. So the 3 cars that bring out the caution here. And of course we do not finish here under caution. So there'll be a green, white, and checkered flag finish for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour. So do not go anywhere. This one is yet to see some more fireworks, I believe.
Well, this is going to be interesting, Eli. We've seen in the past couple restarts, Mike Stefanik, our leader, is not able to quite get up to speed as quick as he needs to. He's lost a couple spots initially on the restarts, but with a green-white checker, can he hold them all?
We'll find out as soon as we come back. TNN Motorsports is live at New Hampshire International Speedway. The final green, white, and checker under ominous skies. We'll wrap it up as soon as we come back. Caution on the speedway for a multi-car accident, and our camera lens also tells another story. The rain that was closing in is now indeed here at New Hampshire International Speedway. But first to turn 4. Let's see what happens.
Looks like Bruce Driver gets in the back of Jan Blewett, and the 18 Kerry Malone was on the outside of him, pushed him up into the marbles, got him in the fence, and then it was a chain reaction. Someone got in the back of Driver.
Then Dave Bergman in the 32 had nowhere to go either.
Eli, while we're talking about marbles, let me explain what that is. That's a lot of tire buildup where you use tires and you get actually the part of the tire that's been used up kind of flakes off, and it makes a very, very hard substance on the outside of the groove. And you get out there, there's a lot of dirt and there's a lot of trash on the outside. You get in that, the car just goes straight up towards the wall.
The hot tires then, as you get up into that area, the hot tires will tend to pick it up, and it'll take you a corner or 2 to get it wore back off off the tires so you can get traction.
You know, talking tires, another factor here, and we were just talking amongst ourselves during the commercial break. The top 3, Stefanik, Ionitzko, and Lady, are on the Goodyears, and Reggie's the first Hoosier guy, and a whole lot of friends out there.
They don't have a friend out there then.
No, we saw it earlier. Reggie was leading the race, and those 3 ganged up and drafted right by him. So, you know, you talk about teammates and manufacturers of cars. Well, here in the modified division, brands of tire you run, those become your teammates.
Well, the field is going to get the 1-to-go signal. The little bit of light rain has stopped as quickly as it started, although a major league shower seems to be camped right out over turn 4. But I believe Mother Nature wants to see the finish of this race also. She's going to wait.
I believe so. I think everybody here wants to see the finish of this race.
I guarantee you.
She says, I'll rain during intermission. Let's watch and see how this one finishes. Billy Ryder gives him the 1-to-go signal.
Boy, oh boy.
This is going to be some finish, because I'll tell you, as I said earlier, Mike Stefanik had trouble on the restarts. The Mike Ionesco, the first thing he'll do is try to jump on the outside going into
You're
turn
exactly
one.
right. And you wondered how they clean the tires. You see the cars back in the pack there going back and forth. They're getting all the dirt off the tires and making that a clean footprint when it gets to the pavement when the green flag comes out.
Let's check in with Glenn Jarrett.
I got a question for Brett. I believe that inside of 10 laps, do they do single file, Brett?
Yes, sir. They'll do a
Okay,
single file restart, and all the lead lap cars to the front, just like Winston Cup. We're going to see a heck of a battle to the finish.
Yeah, if that's a break for Stefanik, because if Ionesco were allowed to get up on the outside of him and pin him down on that inside lane again, I don't think he'd have any chance at all. But since we only got the green-white checkers, he may be able to hold him off.
I think you're going to see Stefanik protect that outside lane. He's going to try to run the middle of the track. He's going to make that back bumper just as wide as possible, make it hard for him to pass.
You said something very important there. You have bumpers on these cars and you have rails down the side. You can make contact and not tear up anything. I look for a lot of bumping and pushing here.
Let's see. Green flag next time around, the white, and then the checker to settle it. And Stefanik is going to make that car work as he makes sure nobody passes him to the inside. But here comes Lady in the 25 to the outside.
Jan's the one that took the big chance on the outside. He's going to make a move on the 21 car Ionesco, and look at Stefanik weaving back and forth.
Yeah, they're coming to the white flag this time.
Boy, right now it don't look good for Stefanik. You can see Reggie Ruggiero there in the 2 making a move into 3rd place coming off turn 4.
White flag is out. One more time around to settle it. Lady looks one way. Stefanik blocks to the inside. Ruggiero is in 3rd.
I don't believe he's going to make it there. He's going to have to try to get by him down the back stretch using the draft, just like they do at Daytona. You see him weaving, trying to break the draft.
Stefanik looking for his 5th win here at New Hampshire. He's the point leader. Wants to pad the advantage. He wants his 7th win of the year. Off turn 4. Can Lady make a move? No. Stefanik holds him off. Lady will finish 2nd. What a finish for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour.
Eli does not get any better than that. Anybody does not like modified after watching that show. They have to love it.
What a finish. Typical NASCAR Modified Tour action. The Busch North Series is coming up in just a bit, so do not leave us now. We're going to Victory Lane in a moment. It is all over here for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour. The Busch North Series coming up shortly, and Mike Stefanik is going to do double duty here today. He's got 1 win already tucked away, maybe another one yet to come. Let's go to Victory Lane.
And a victory salute to the crowd over there. And Mike, you had a great race car, but that was not easy.
No, that was not easy at all. They would, I don't know, where do you start? You know, I got to say hi to my mom and dad in Florida. I always forget to do that. Hi, Mom and Dad, and all you Burnham fans out there. But the racing was totally exciting. I mean, I tried to cut a deal with Mike Ionesco, but my deal was so complex that I said, hey, just tell him to go back racing. I can't even figure out the plan I'm coming up with. But I'll tell you, unbelievable. I mean, that's racing. I mean, you can call any division what you want. Let me tell you, those are some good drivers up there, pushing and shoving and having the race of our lives.
With the tight race car, did you think you'd be able to pull it off?
Yeah, we were a little bit tight off, and I complained about it a little bit, but I was hoping for the sun, then the clouds come over, and you wouldn't believe the difference of just some cloud cover to tighten the car up, but you just can't do it by yourself, and I don't know. I got to thank Goodyear and everybody that helps us with this car and all the guys. I mean, this one we won't forget about for a while.
And neither will we on TNN. I tell you what, folks, he's batting better than 50% in the last 2 years now.
It really is remarkable, the kind of career that Mike Stefanik has going. Just joining us, here's what took place in that 100-mile event for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour. Tim Connolly got things going, but when Jamie Tomeno got together with Tommy Cravino, Connolly ends up in the wall at lap number 61. That was the 3rd caution flag of the day. Then when Tim Mangus and others spun in turn number 2 at lap number 76, it brought out our 5th caution flag of the day. Cravino again launches Ted Christopher, and that was another caution here today, as this race was slowed a total of 6 times. But when it counted, Mike Stefanik was battling Mike Ionesco for the win. This was the pass that eventually yields the victory. Mike Stefanik, in 21 races here coming in, has been the master of this racetrack. And when Kerry Malone hit the wall at lap number 97, it set up the mad dash to the finish as Stefanik picks up the win. Welcome back, everybody. The NASCAR Busch North Series cars now being brought out to the starting grid. We're just a few moments away from getting their 100-lapper underway. Tell you, the modified tour, though, giving us a spectacular run here. Let's take a look at the finishing results and see where your favorite came in. We've not talked much about the Kennedy team today, but a strong 5th-place run for him. Charlie Pasteryak, Hirschman, you saw there in 10th. Never really in the, nor were Flemke and Baldwin in the storyline today.
Just couldn't get their cars working and make a run for the front.
Rick Fuller there in 20th. Tom Bowles, our pole sitter, settling for 25th. Had problems. So did Ferrati Jr. with a couple of incidents today on the racetrack. Our camera car in 40th spot. Connolly was involved in that early accident. But nevertheless, a solid day of racing for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour. The points still very much a runaway for Mike Stefanik.
He's just been dominating this series for the last couple of years, and it's a real credit to him and his crew. They've really done a great job.
You know, it's sad, Glenn, in that here's Jan Lady runs well and well and well week after week, and he ends up losing distance to the point leader.
Oh, that's exactly right, and what a great show it was. All smiles, and I've been corrected. It's Jan Lady. He's standing by with his wife, Julie, and got to ask you a question, man. Was that as much fun for you as it was for us to watch?
Well, I'll tell you, it's pretty exciting out there, no doubt about that. It's definitely gets your attention.
Did you think that you had a shot at him? Your car worked well on the outside all day long. I know you had to think you might be able to take it.
Well, I really did, and I gave it everything I had. It just come up a little bit short. You know, Mike does a great job, and those Goodyear tires were sticking, but just a little tight on the outside when I got alongside of him, you know. And he raced me clean and hard like the Reds did and all the guys. And, you know, we just want to thank Goodyear and Troyers and the people that do a great job for us and put a great car under me today.
Congratulations on the 2nd place. And talking about the Reggie standing right here. Reggie, you finished 2nd a couple of weeks ago, came in with 3rd today, but boy, was it fun.
It was a lot of fun out there. Us 3 guys, we finished 1, 2, 3 last week. Stefanik won, I finished 2nd, Jan was 3rd, and let me tell you, you don't know who's going to win this race till the last lap, and we proved it today. There was probably 30 lead changes in that 100-lap race, and it's just a lot of fun. These 2 guys were on Goodyear tires. I was on Hoosiers. They didn't want to dance with me, so I sort of had to do it myself. You know, we finished 3rd. Nothing to complain about. Our new sponsor came on board last week, Les Cara Kitchens. This one's for him.
Congratulations, Reg, on another fine run here at the Magic Mile. This guy loves this place.
Now, I'll tell you, we all love the racing here. The Featherlite Modified Tour, a superb day of racing. But there's another race yet to come. The NASCAR Busch North Series is up next. We'll tell you all about it when we return on TNN Motorsports.